bypassing the internal 40 amp breaker and replacing the 60 amp disconnect breaker with a 40 amp unit would be within code. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, requires overcurrent protection devices to be sized to protect the conductors and equipment they are feeding. In this case, the 40 amp breaker would provide adequate protection for the 8 kilowatt heating kit. It is possible that the engineers designed the breaker in the control box to serve as both a current limiter and a thermal limiter. However, it is not a common practice for breakers to be used as thermal limiters. Thermal limiters are typically separate devices that respond to heat and trip to prevent overheating. To ensure the safe and reliable operation of the heater, it is recommended that you firstly replace the internal 40 amp breaker. Access the breaker compartment and replace the breaker with a new 40 amp heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration rated breaker. Ensure that the new breaker is suitable for the specific heater model. Secondly, install a thermal limiter. If you are concerned about overheating, you can install a separate thermal limiter in the circuit. This will provide an additional layer of protection against thermal overload. Thirdly, seal the breaker compartment. To prevent moisture from entering the breaker compartment, seal any openings or gaps around the door or cover. Always consult with a qualified electrician to perform these modifications. They can ensure the correct installation and compliance with all applicable codes and standards. Overcurrent protection is a critical aspect of electrical safety, and the NEC provides specific guidelines for selecting and installing overcurrent devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, to protect electrical circuits from excessive current that could lead to overheating, fire, or equipment damage. When choosing a circuit breaker or fuse, it is essential to consider the ampacity of the conductors in the circuit, which is the maximum current carrying capacity of the wires. The overcurrent device should be sized no larger than the ampacity of the smallest conductor in the circuit to ensure that the wires are protected from overloads. The NEC also specifies the types of overcurrent devices that are permitted for different applications, such as branch circuits, feeders, and motor circuits. These requirements are designed to provide a consistent level of protection for electrical systems and to minimize the risk of electrical hazards. In addition to protecting conductors, overcurrent devices also protect electrical equipment such as motors, transformers, and appliances from damage due to overloads or short circuits. The NEC provides specific guidelines for selecting overcurrent devices for different types of equipment, taking into account the equipment's operating characteristics and potential fault currents. These guidelines help to ensure that the equipment is adequately protected and that the risk of damage or failure is minimized. Thermal limiters, also known as thermal cutouts or thermal fuses, are safety devices that are designed to protect electrical equipment from overheating. These devices are typically used in appliances, motors, and other electrical equipment that can generate heat during operation. When the temperature of the equipment exceeds a certain threshold, the thermal limiter will open the circuit, shutting off the power and preventing further heating. Thermal limiters are typically one-time use devices, meaning that they must be replaced after they have been activated. They are available in a variety of temperature ratings and current ratings to suit different applications. When selecting a thermal limiter, it is important to choose a device that is rated for the appropriate temperature and current for the equipment being protected. It is also important to ensure that the thermal limiter is installed in a location where it will accurately sense the temperature of the equipment. Proper installation is essential for ensuring that the thermal limiter will function correctly and provide adequate protection against overheating. Moisture in electrical enclosures can lead to a variety of problems, including corrosion, electrical shorts, and equipment failure. Moisture can enter electrical enclosures through a variety of sources such as condensation, rain, and humidity. Once moisture enters an enclosure, it can create a conductive path between electrical components, leading to electrical shorts and equipment damage. Moisture can also corrode metal components such as wires, connectors, and circuit breakers, which can reduce their conductivity and increase the risk of electrical hazards. To prevent moisture from entering electrical enclosures, it is important to seal any openings or gaps around the door or cover. This can be done using gaskets, sealants, or other types of sealing materials. It is also important to ensure that the enclosure is properly ventilated to prevent condensation from forming inside. Ventilation can be achieved by installing vents or louvers in the enclosure. In addition to sealing and ventilating electrical enclosures, it is also important to protect them from direct exposure to rain or other sources of moisture. This can be done by installing a rain shield or canopy over the enclosure. It is also important to inspect electrical enclosures regularly for signs of moisture damage, such as corrosion or water stains. If moisture damage is detected, it should be repaired promptly to prevent further damage and ensure the safe operation of the electrical equipment. Consulting with a qualified electrician is essential when making any modifications to electrical systems. Electricians have the knowledge and experience to ensure that the work is done safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and standards. They can also help to identify potential hazards and provide recommendations for preventing electrical problems. When hiring an electrician, it is important to choose a licensed and insured professional. Licensed electricians have met certain requirements for education and experience and have passed an examination to demonstrate their knowledge of electrical codes and safety practices. Insured electricians have liability insurance to protect you from financial losses in the event of an accident or injury. Before hiring an electrician, be sure to ask for references and check their credentials. It is also a good idea to get a written estimate of the cost of the work before it begins. This will help to avoid any surprises later on. During the electrical work, be sure to follow the electrician's instructions and stay away from the work area. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take precautions to protect yourself from injury. The NEC is a comprehensive set of standards for the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment. It is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and best practices. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. It is used by electricians, inspectors, and other professionals in the electrical industry to ensure that electrical systems are installed safely and correctly. Compliance with the NEC is essential for protecting people and property from electrical hazards. Many jurisdictions have adopted the NEC into law, making it a legal requirement for all electrical installations. Even in jurisdictions that have not adopted the NEC, it is still considered a best practice to follow its guidelines. The NEC is available for purchase from the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA. It can also be accessed online through various subscription services. The NEC is a complex document, but it is essential for anyone working with electrical systems to have a thorough understanding of its requirements. It is important to stay up to date with the latest edition of the NEC and to consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions about its application. In summary, when dealing with electrical systems, safety and code compliance are paramount. Understanding the function of components like breakers and thermal limiters, and ensuring proper installation and protection against environmental factors like moisture are all critical aspects of maintaining a safe and reliable electrical system. Always consult with a qualified electrician for any modifications or repairs to your electrical system to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and standards. This helps minimize the risk of electrical hazards and ensures the long-term safe operation of your equipment. The National Electrical Code Section 110.3 covers examination, identification, installation, and use of equipment. Specifically, 110.3 B states that listed or labeled equipment shall be installed and used in accordance with any instructions included in the listing or labeling. This means that any equipment that has been tested and certified by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, or all, must be installed and used according to the manufacturer's instructions. These instructions typically include information on proper wiring, grounding, overcurrent protection, and other safety requirements. Section 240.1 covers protection of equipment by overcurrent devices. This section requires that overcurrent devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, be installed in a manner that protects the electrical system from overloads and short circuits. The overcurrent device must be sized to protect the conductors and equipment that it is feeding, and it must be installed in a readily accessible location. Section 250.4 covers grounding requirements. This section requires that all electrical systems be properly grounded to protect against electrical shock and to provide a path for fault current to flow back to the source. The grounding system must be installed in accordance with the NEC, and it must be regularly inspected to ensure that it is functioning properly. Section 310.15 provides guidelines for determining the ampacity of conductors. The ampacity of a conductor is the maximum amount of current that it can safely carry without overheating. The NEC provides tables that list the ampacities of different types of conductors based on their size, insulation, and temperature rating. It is important to select conductors with an ampacity that is sufficient for the load that they will be carrying. Section 430 covers motors, motor circuits, and controllers. This section provides specific requirements for the installation and protection of motors, including overcurrent protection, overload protection, and disconnecting means. The NEC also covers other types of electrical equipment, such as transformers, generators, and batteries. These sections provide specific requirements for the installation and protection of these types of equipment to ensure that they are operated safely and reliably. The NEC is a complex document, and it is important to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that all electrical work is performed in accordance with its requirements. Failure to comply with the NEC can result in electrical hazards, fines, and other penalties. In addition to the NEC, many local jurisdictions have their own electrical codes that must be followed. These codes may be more stringent than the NEC, and it is important to be aware of the local requirements before performing any electrical work. When performing electrical work, it is important to follow all safety precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock and other hazards. These precautions include wearing appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses, and using insulated tools. It is also important to energize the circuit before working on it and to test the circuit to make sure that it is de-energized. If you are not comfortable performing electrical work, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the job. Electricians have the knowledge and experience to perform electrical work safely and in accordance with all applicable codes and standards. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure that your electrical system is safe and reliable. Replacing a breaker involves safety considerations. Firstly, always disconnect the power. Turn off the circuit breaker that controls the circuit you'll be working on. It's best practice to turn off the main breaker to the entire panel for added safety. Secondly, test for voltage. Use a non-contact voltage tester to confirm that the circuit is indeed de-energized before touching any wires or components. Thirdly, wear safety gear. Wear safety glasses to protect your eyes and insulated gloves to prevent electrical shock. Fourthly, use insulated tools. Ensure all tools you use are insulated and in good condition. Damaged tools can be hazardous. Fifthly, identify the breaker. Before removing the old breaker, carefully note its position, size, and wiring configuration. Take a picture or draw a diagram for reference. Sixthly, remove the old breaker. Gently pull the old breaker out of the panel. It may require some force, but avoid excessive pulling or twisting. Seventhly, install the new breaker. Align the new breaker with the bus bar and snap it into place. Ensure it's securely seated. Eighthly, check the wiring. Make sure all wires are securely connected to the breaker terminals. Loose connections can cause overheating and electrical hazards. Ninthly, test the new breaker. After installing the new breaker, turn the power back on and test the breaker by switching it on and off. Use a multimeter to verify voltage at the outlets or devices on the circuit. Tenthly, label the breaker. Clearly label the new breaker in the panel to indicate what it controls. This will help with future troubleshooting. Some additional safety tips for working with electrical panels include never work alone. Have someone nearby in case of an emergency. Never work in wet conditions. Water and electricity are a dangerous combination. Avoid touching any exposed wires or terminals. Always assume they are live. If you are not comfortable working with electrical panels, hire a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's best left to the professionals if you're unsure of your abilities. These recommendations will help you with replacing breakers. Understanding thermal limiters can offer improved safety. A thermal limiter, also known as a thermal cutoff or thermal fuse, is a safety device that interrupts an electrical circuit when it detects excessive heat. It's designed to protect electrical components and prevent fires by shutting off power when temperatures reach unsafe levels. Thermal limiters are commonly used in appliances, motors, transformers, and other devices that generate heat during operation. They act as a one-time use fuse, permanently opening the circuit when triggered. There are several types of thermal limiters, including fusible links, bimetallic strips, and wax pellets. Fusible links are made of a metal alloy that melts at a specific temperature, opening the circuit. Bimetallic strips consist of two different metals bonded together that bend when heated, triggering a switch. Wax pellets contain a wax that melts at a specific temperature, releasing a spring-loaded contact. Thermal limiters are selected based on their temperature rating, current rating, and physical size. The temperature rating indicates the temperature at which the limiter will activate. The current rating specifies the maximum current that the limiter can handle before it fails. The physical size must be compatible with the device in which it will be installed. Thermal limiters are installed in close proximity to the heat source that they are intended to protect. They are typically wired in series with the circuit so that when the limiter activates, it breaks the circuit and shuts off power. Thermal limiters are essential for preventing overheating and fires in electrical devices. They provide a reliable and cost-effective way to protect equipment and ensure safety. It's important to choose the right thermal limiter for the application and to install it correctly. Thermal limiters are not resettable and must be replaced after they have been activated. Regular inspection and maintenance of thermal limiters can help to identify potential problems and ensure that they are functioning properly. When troubleshooting electrical issues, it's important to check the thermal limiter to see if it has been activated. If the thermal limiter has tripped, it indicates that there was an overheating condition that needs to be addressed. Moisture mitigation is important. Moisture can wreak havoc on electrical systems, leading to corrosion, short circuits, and equipment failure. Preventing moisture from entering electrical enclosures is crucial for maintaining the integrity and safety of electrical installations. There are several methods for mitigating moisture in electrical enclosures, including sealing, ventilation, and dehumidification. Sealing involves closing any gaps or openings in the enclosure to prevent moisture from entering. This can be achieved using gaskets, sealants, and other sealing materials. Ventilation allows air to circulate through the enclosure, which helps to remove moisture and prevent condensation. This can be achieved by installing vents or louvers in the enclosure. Dehumidification involves using a dehumidifier to remove moisture from the air inside the enclosure. This is particularly effective in humid environments. Proper sealing is essential for preventing moisture from entering electrical enclosures. Gaskets are commonly used to seal the doors and covers of enclosures. Sealants can be used to fill any gaps or cracks in the enclosure. It's important to choose sealing materials that are compatible with the enclosure material and the environment. Ventilation can help to prevent condensation inside electrical enclosures. Vents should be installed in a way that allows air to circulate freely through the enclosure. Louvers can be used to protect the vents from rain and other weather conditions. Dehumidifiers can be used to remove moisture from the air inside electrical enclosures. These devices work by cooling the air and condensing the moisture, which is then collected in a reservoir. Regular inspection and maintenance of electrical enclosures can help to identify potential moisture problems. Look for signs of corrosion, water stains, or condensation inside the enclosure. Address any moisture problems promptly to prevent further damage and ensure the safe operation of the electrical equipment. Moisture mitigation is an important aspect of electrical safety and should be addressed in all electrical installations. Consulting with a qualified electrician can help to identify the best methods for mitigating moisture in electrical enclosures. Remember to prioritize safety, comply with codes, and seek professional help.